The story opens with the general's son, Jack, being taken toward a gas chamber along with Jewish prisoners. The prisoners are about to be sealed inside and exposed to deadly gas. Meanwhile, at home, Jack's mother, Elsa, realizes her son is missing. She rushes to her husband, General Rolf, who is in an important meeting. Hearing the news, Rolf and his junior officers immediately search the house. Elsewhere, Jack, unaware of his destination, is heading toward the gas chamber with his friend Michael. Following Jack's trail with the help of dogs, Rolf arrives at the prisoner camp and notices clothes that belong to Jack near an entrance. Suddenly, an alarm sounds, indicating the prisoners have been moved to the chamber. Rolf, desperate to save his son, runs toward the chamber, but a soldier releases the lethal gas inside. The suspense builds as we wonder if Rolf will rescue his son in time, and why such horrific acts are happening to these people. To know what happens next, let's explore the film's detailed explanation. The story begins in Berlin, Germany, during World War II, under Hitler's rule. The central character is an 8-year-old boy, Jack, whose father, General Rolf, is an important officer in Hitler's army. Jack lives with his mother, Elsa, and sister Maria, and is quite happy with his friends in the city. One day, after school, Jack comes home to find the house in preparation for a celebration. His father has been promoted. Rolf's new position involves overseeing prisoner camps in another country, so the family soon moves away from the city. Jack is disappointed, reluctant to leave his friends behind. Once in the new house, Jack hears voices and sees strange houses from his window, occupied by people wearing identical striped clothing. Curious, he assumes he can play with the children living there. The next day, he notices an elderly man bringing vegetables to the kitchen, also dressed in the same clothing. Elsa realizes the proximity of a prison camp, becomes upset with Rolf, and closes the window in Jack's room. Bored and alone, Jack later finds a small door leading to the backyard, from where he sneaks into the nearby woods. Here, he meets Michael, a boy of his age, and notices a number sewn onto his shirt, signaling he is a prisoner. Michael asks Jack, "Do you have anything to eat?" At that time, Jack does not have anything, but he promises to bring him food next time. The next day, Jack is swinging on a swing when he notices a large amount of smoke in the sky, accompanied by a strong smell. Curious, he climbs higher on the swing, trying to see where the smoke is coming from. As he does, he loses balance and falls to the ground, injuring himself. Since no one else is home, Pavel, the elderly prisoner, tends to his injury and bandages him. Just then, Elsa arrives and thanks Pavel for helping Jack, showing us that the Nazi soldiers have also imprisoned civilians, some of whom were kind-hearted and had no involvement in the war. In the next scene, Jack goes to meet Michael again, but this time he brings along a bag filled with food items from the kitchen. This strengthens their friendship, and they become close. Jack asks Michael about the foul smoke they've noticed in the air. Michael replies that he doesn't know anything about it, and that they're not allowed to leave the area. Jack's father arranges for a tutor to teach them history at home. However, Jack has no interest in history. He prefers adventure stories. The tutor teaches them that Jewish people are supposedly bad, and the source of all the world's problems. Jack, skeptical, asks if there could be even one good Jewish person. The tutor sarcastically says that if you succeed in finding one good Jew, you would be considered the best explorer in the world. Jack doesn't believe the tutor and continues meeting Michael, who he learns is Jewish, and that his entire family has been detained there. Elsa, noticing the tutor's influence, realizes her daughter has become a follower of Hitler, even decorating her room with his posters. One day, Jack asks his father about the smell, and he explains it's just garbage being burned in the chimneys outside. The next day, Jack sees Michael working at their home, which makes him happy, as they can now spend time together. Jack offers him a cake, which Michael eats hungrily. Just then, Lieutenant Henry arrives and gets angry, seeing Michael eating. Michael explains that Jack gave him the cake, but when asked, Jack denies it out of fear. After this, Michael stops appearing at Jack's house. Jack eventually sneaks out again to meet Michael, who now bears visible marks from being beaten. Jack apologizes, feeling it was his fault, and Michael forgives him. Later, Elsa steps out of a car with Henry and senses a strong smell in the air. She asks Henry, who tells her that nearby, Jews are being burned alive in the chimney, which is the source of the smell. Horrified, Elsa confronts her husband, who admits it's his mission to eliminate all Jews in the area. From that day on, Elsa grows increasingly distant from her husband. The following day, while serving dinner, Paul accidentally drops a glass of wine, which angers Henry, who punishes him harshly. Fed up with her husband's cruelty and worried about her children's future, Elsa convinces Ralph to send the children back to Berlin. However, Jack doesn't want to leave Michael behind. The next day, he meets a distressed Michael, who reveals that his father has been missing since the previous day. Jack promises to help him find his father and asks Michael for clothes similar to his own. The following day, Jack sneaks in a tool for digging and uses it to create an entry into the camp from under the fence, where he changes into Michael's clothes. Elsa soon realizes Jack is missing and informs Ralph, who is in a meeting. The officers immediately start searching for Jack, and Elsa finds a sandwich by the window, indicating he has headed toward the forest. On the other side, Jack and Michael, still in disguise, search for Michael's father in the prisoner camp. They find themselves amidst a group of prisoners being led toward a large hall. The two children are unable to break away and continue to move along with the group. Meanwhile, the general arrives at the camp with his soldiers and dogs and finds Jack's clothes, realizing he might be in the chemical chamber. Elsa clutches Jack's clothes and screams in despair. The prisoners, including Jack and Michael, are taken to the gas chamber, and a soldier drops chemicals inside through a small window. The prisoners cry out in fear, but Jack and Michael hold each other's hands. Ralph, searching for his son, hears the alarm from the chamber, signaling that the bodies have been incinerated. He falls to the ground, devastated, and the scene fades as he screams. This marks the final scene of the film. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel.